Hello, welcome to a creature case study. In this case study, we're going to examine the Mech dragon character and animation. Before we start off, let's look at the body parts of this creature. Here are the Mech dragon body parts all laid out in the scene. So I've got the tail, parts of the head, the body, the wing, parts of the leg, and the neck. Alright, let's go back to the animation window and see how it animates. Okay, looks pretty cool. There's quite a few things going on here, so I will step in and explain what's going on. It seems like a very complicated piece of animation, but once I break it down into its separate components, you should be able to do something very, very similar. Right. Let's start with the tail. Okay, let's look at the tail. Let's play the animation again. You notice the tail is wobbling up and down, and the end of it is having some kind of wavy bendy motion. And you can probably guess what motors we're using. Let's stop the animation and examine it. So let's click on the base tail, and this says rotate cycle motor, which makes sense because we want the base tail to have some kind of rotate action that drives the rest of the tail. And so this guy over here has a rotate cycle motor, and he rotates from -5 degrees to 40 degrees. Right. Now, obviously, the base rotate action isn't enough. We have to rotate and swing about the rest of the tail. We don't want a rotate cycle for the rest of the tail because that will look very unnatural. So what we do is we just use a bend physics motor to drive the rest of the tail. So by doing this, if we play it, you get that nice tail wavy action going on. And this tail bendy wavy action responds naturally and is driven by the base rotate cycle motor. Okay, so that concludes the tail animation. Let us take a look at the wing now. The wing is folded, as you can see, and as the animation plays through it stretches out and folds back again. This is a pretty simple application of rotate cycle motors. So both the wings have rotate cycle motors, and they vary from -30 degrees to 80 degrees. And that's all you need to do to make the wing compress or fold and stretch out again. Okay, simple. The next thing we're going to examine are the legs. So let's take a look at the legs. The back leg has an IK motor. The two bones have an IK motor installed on them. And the reason is because if we play the animation again, you notice this dragon is standing up and coming down again. So we want the two hind legs to sort of target or lock to the ground and pose accordingly as the dragon stands up, rears up, and comes down again. So that's what you use IK motors for. Okay. The front legs, there is a very subtle rotate action going on, but it essentially is just another IK motor. But because we want a subtle rotate action, we're using an IK rotate motor. So if you play it, you know there's a bit of keep alive going on there. Okay. The other thing you notice is it looks like this dragon is almost breathing, right? The torso or the body looks very organic. It looks like it's breathing. How do we accomplish that? That's actually a trick. It's a trick of applying simply 2 rotate cycle motors to the bones of the body. And if we set the correct angles and speed, in this case it starts from -5 degrees to 15 degrees, and this guy over here starts from -15 to 10 degrees. If we set the correct angles and speed, you will get a very natural breathing motion just by using 2 rotate cycle motors. So that's a useful tip. Now let's get to the neck. This is the part where it's the most interesting. If we play the animation again, you notice that the neck follows the head as it poses up and down. So do we actually manually animate the neck? No, we did not manually animate the neck. The neck, if you click on any of the bones of the neck, says pin rope motor. So the entire stretch, the entire span of the neck is using a pin rope motor. And what it does is it will basically simulate or animate this entire chain of neck bones using rope physics. But the catch, the difference is it actually allows you to pin the target bone into the target position you want. So in other words, we are simply just animating. I'm just animating the, if I scrub through the frames, you can see I'm simply just animating the target bone, dragging it around and letting the rest of the neck follow through and pulls automatically using physics. Right. Okay. And finally, the simplest of them all, the jaws. This is just pure traditional FK animation. I'm simply going in and rotating the jaws upwards and out. So this is the jaws constitute the most traditional form of animation in this example. Everything else is using some kind of advanced procedural motor, but the jaws are just using traditional FK animation. Right, so let's play the animation back again. Okay, that concludes this case study of the Mech Dragon. Happy animating!